On today's show, Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets just keep finding ways to win games. How long will it last for them? The Knicks find a way to win a game that they just needed. Today's Locked On NBA Game Night.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
And welcome. You're Locked On to NBA Game Night. My name is Nick Angstadt, host of Locked On Mavericks podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Joining me, as always, from Locked On Bucks. What'd you see in the NBA tonight, Camille Davis?
I saw a lot of games where I thought I knew the outcome, and then surprise, something different happened, and what I thought was going to happen did not.
We always have weird nights on Mondays. This one, another weird one. Two teams hit 25 or more threes and lost. Weird one. Comeback wins. Victor Wembanyama goes down. We'll talk about that. And teams that we thought were going to get wins definitely did not. And so let's start right away with the Denver Nuggets against the Portland Trailblazers. Nuggets win the game 137-132. Lots of scoring tonight. Cavs put up 142, Magic 123. But in this one, the Blazers were dominating this game for most of it. Nuggets had like a 1-point lead very early in this game, and then the whole rest of it, the Blazers were leading. They had an 18-point lead at the end of the third, 17-point lead in the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then just came the onslaught from the Nuggets. From 10-20 in the fourth quarter to 30 seconds left, Denver was on a 33-14 stretch, just blowing them out of the water. The Blazers could not find ways to get offense going, and this one ends in overtime. Jokic had a chance to win it at the end regulation, but then Denver's offense was just too much for this Portland defense, and Denver now has 9 wins in a row. They just keep finding ways to win games.
Yeah, 9 wins in a row, which I believe ties the longest win streak of the Jokic era in Denver as well. So they're starting to stack together some good quality wins as they're heading into the playoffs. This win also got them in control of the 3 seed now in the West with all the injuries the Lakers have going on. That really might be in their bag too, but what a crazy game that this was, because like at halftime and looking at the numbers, it was like, okay, the Blazers are 29th in the NBA in 3-point shooting. And they were 16 of 30 from 3 at halftime. I just could not believe it. Tamani Kamara was just going off. It was his third game of at least 8 3-pointers. Like, no one in the NBA has even had one or more than him since February 1st. Games with 8 made 3-pointers. And yet and still, fourth quarter, the Denver Nuggets defense started to ramp up a bit. Got some stops, and their offense started to knock down shots that they were missing earlier in the game, where it was very Denver Nuggetsy. They just weren't falling for them early.
The Portland Trailblazers guys hitting threes. Tamani Kamara, 8 of 13. Klingon, 3 of 6. Drew Holiday, 5 of 12. Scoot Henderson, 4 of 8. Matisse Thybulle, 4 of 6. Like, do you think Deni just feels really left out in that locker room? He went 1 of 6. He's like, I'm the one guy that didn't shoot over 50% from 3 on the night. Like the one guy that wasn't hot. Maybe he's the one that didn't go out to dinner with them the night before. Maybe, or maybe the other ones did and Deni went out. Like who knows? But something was happening with that Blazers team. But they just couldn't get stops down the stretch. No. They couldn't score down the stretch. It just feels like when that Portland team gets down to it, they just try and ram drives in and just try to get fouled, just try to go to the free throw line. That seems to be their go-to. And then also, and on defense, they were just getting destroyed by the weak, the strong side corner, like the help coming from the corner, where it was Robert Williams or Donovan Klinging having to help off Aaron Gordon because they weren't going to put either of those guys on Jokic. They put Drew Holiday on him, they put Tamani Kamara on him, and Kamara fouls out in this game. And like they just couldn't keep their bigs on Jokic, so they decided to put him on the corner on Aaron Gordon, so that when Murray would drive or Jokic would drive, like multiple threes came out of that, including one that tied the game at 123. That was a massive one.
Yeah.
And that was just a big problem for him the whole game.
It was. And I was really happy to see that the Denver Nuggets, because to the point about the threes going in for Portland, when they were falling, sometimes I was like, dang, that's really, really open. Like, it's really, really open. So to see the ways that the Nuggets not only adjusted on offense, like you pointed out, But on defense, it's like, okay, let's actually just kind of get out to these shooters and make the shots a bit more difficult. Like they already had the luck of the bounce where some shots are hitting the back of the rim, bouncing up, hitting the backboard, bouncing back in. So for the Nuggets, being able to get those stops, be able to play more aggressive defense, and then having those shots fall was big for them. But what I really loved too was down the stretch. The ball is in Jokic's hand, of course, like big monster triple double for him in this game. But Jamal Murray, timely shots, Aaron Gordon, timely threes, and down the stretch. Threes. Like it was very, very important. He maintained making sure that his teammates were involved throughout this game, and they came up big. Like the overtime, it was just Gordon, Jokic, and Murray that put points on the board, but everyone else played a part.
Man, and shout out to Cam Johnson for having some really big moments in this one too that it felt like he really needed. He had 17 points, 7 assists, 6 boards. This one, maybe he's finding his way in this rotation because he had a moment, 2:50 left in this game where Jokic has Drew Holiday on him and he has his back turned to Cam Johnson who's on the left wing. Cam Johnson being guarded by Tamani Kamara. Kamara notices that Jokic isn't looking over at me. So Jokic got the ball over the top of his shoulder like he does, just holding the ball up there. And he's like, I'm going to go steal this ball from Jokic. And little does he know, like as soon as Kamara gets 2 steps away from Cam Johnson, Jokic just turns a pass right over and throws it to Cam. Cam hits a 3. It became a 3-point game at that point. And then late in this game, Jamal Murray had picked up his dribble and then tried like a step through move and had to just jump in the air and find somebody. And Cam Johnson was cutting right at the right time, kicked it over to Aaron Gordon for one of those big threes. That tied it at 120. That was the tie at 123. Just some really big plays from Cam Johnson too, which is something they need. Aaron Gordon, Cam Johnson, like making plays, those role players, they're going to need all those guys in the playoffs.
They are. Like Aaron Gordon is the name that you hear a lot because he has already proven his value come playoff time, and the type of player that he's evolved into with the defense is there for him, but also like the shot is very comfortable. Like he even has the catch high, shoot high 3 release in his bag.
Dip. He had like some no dip ones.
No dip, and he's comfortable. Like if you would have told me this when he was still in Orlando, that he'd be shooting this way, I'm like, come on, really?
Tell Philip that. Tell Philip Rossman-Reich from Locked On Magic. Okay, Aaron Gordon will leave your team and he will become a no-dip 3-point shooter, which is
like what? But that's the point. Like, Jokic and Murray. Those are the 2 names that draw so much attention. But Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, Christian Braun, like they are going to play such important roles for this team come playoff time. And this is a game where Peyton Watson wasn't even in the rotation for the Nuggets. So like there were some key guys they were missing there in that sense, but they found enough in this game, in a game where it felt like the Trailblazers weren't going to be able to miss until that 4th quarter drought happened. And they could not make a shot to save their lives. It felt like at that point.
Shout out Valanciunas, 14 points in under 10 minutes. That one I didn't realize that until I checked the box score after I was watching it. I was like, wait, what? Like,
they were all sneaky points. Like, okay, just well-timed basket. Okay.
It's wild to see a team like this, like Portland, 24 of 49 from 3 in regulation. And I think Denver was like, 13 of 28 or something like that. They just got outscored by that much. And then they also got outscored on the free throw line too.
Yes.
Like from 3 from the free throw line, and they tied the game up and went to overtime. It's like, how do you overcome something like that from the Blazers? Blazers should have had enough to win, but the Nuggets are just beating them by 2 over and over and over again in this one. Did this game change the way that you've changed your confidence, or has this streak changed your confidence in the Nuggets?
No, the Nuggets have been what I thought they would be, which is one of those teams that, especially come playoff time, if they're healthy, they're going to be a problem. Like after seeing what they did in the playoffs last year, and I said they were the reason that the Thunder kind of grew up in that playoff run to me. They come back this year. They've added some more pieces to this roster that make a little bit more sense than what they had on it last year. They're stronger. You've seen that Jamal Murray came into this season ready to go, ready to play. We know what Nikola Jokic is. Everything about this team feels like come playoff time, they're not going to be someone that you want to see, especially when they're playing connected basketball. Because honestly, Jokic on his own is just such a floor raiser for everyone else around him, that this game's another just reminder of like when Denver is rolling, they are hard to stop. 9 straight wins in a row for them now. Like, yeah, they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs.
They just answer questions, like they have
a good way to word it.
They have questions and they have like they can get answers super easy. And it's because of Jokic and it's because of Murray, and it's that combination. And it's one of the things that Like we lose in today's NBA because guys move around so much that you just don't have that connection of, well, it's Stockton Malone. Well, it's Kobe and Shaq. Well, it's Murray and Jokic. They've been together for so long. They've done it at the highest level. And like, I just think that that's something that you just can't overlook because of how many problems that they can solve. The Knicks have had problems of their own, and they solved some of them against the Hawks. Let's hear from those hosts on this, including Brad Rowland on location, but not in Atlanta.
Oh.
Coming up, Locked On NBA Game Night continues next. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Game Night brought to you by Indeed. If you're a hiring manager, and I am one, you know that you got that job. In the back of your head, you're just like, I got to fill that job. Everybody's job is harder because I haven't filled that job yet. When the pressure is on you, you need the right hire. It's time for Indeed sponsored jobs. Make it easier on yourself. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, you need somebody that doesn't just check all the boxes. They actually fulfill the things that you want because you're targeting trying to find them just as much as they are targeting trying to find you. Listeners of this show get a $75 sponsored job credit to help you get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast, Locked On NBA. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire. This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. We're also brought to you by Wayfair. Wayfair, they got just what you need. I use Wayfair for so many different things. I've got a bunch of stuff, maybe in this room right now, from Wayfair. And we're talking about some of the best deals of the year on furniture, decor, outdoor essentials, everything you need to refresh your home because it's Way Day. They got Way Day at Wayfair because they love to give you a bunch of discounts. During Way Day, Wayfair's offering up to 80% off. Just give it to me at that point. Wayfair, 80% off. Fast shipping, free shipping on everything. Make it easy to find pieces that fit your style and budget. I've used it for a whole bunch of different things in my house and outdoor stuff as well. If you want to be spending time outside, get up to 80% off stuff that you would buy already. Way Day is the way and the sale to shop best deals in home. We're talking about 80% off with fast and free shipping on everything. Head to wayfair.com, April 29th to the 27th. So it's that 3-day sale right there on Wayfair, WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On NBA Game Night, being part of the show, listening every day. We have a everydayer club for every single one of the teams that you love and listen to. Locked On Mavericks.supercast.com, Locked On Bucks.supercast.com, Locked On Nuggets.supercast.com. The Nuggets guys do a great job with their everydayer club. Yeah. They're doing extra content all the time over there. So go check out Locked On Nuggets.supercast.com or all the other ones. $5 a month or $50 a year. You get premium ad-free episodes of these shows as well as access to our Discord where you can talk it up and chop it up with a whole bunch of different shows and people like that. All right, let's talk about the Knicks and the Hawks. The Knicks get a win. Jalen Brunson closes down the fort in Atlanta. Let's hear from Gavin Shaw of Locked On Knicks.
The New York Knicks, for the first time in a long time, get a big win over a great team. I'm Gavin Shaw of the Locked On Knicks podcast. Thanks to a Jalen Brunson flurry to end the game, the New York Knicks hold on for a 108-105 victory over the red-hot Atlanta Hawks. Brunson had a stretch in the fourth quarter where he scored 10 straight points and then capped off that run with a pull-up jumper over C.J. McCollum with 28 seconds to go to give the Knicks a lead they would ultimately not relinquish. But Brunson's main contribution before that scoring run was being a key component of the two-man game between him and Karl-Anthony Towns. The Atlanta Hawks, unlike most of the best teams in the league, decided to guard the Knicks traditionally with a center on Karl-Anthony Towns, and they paid for that decision because the Knicks spammed that two-man game all night long. Cat, in the first half, was more of a playmaker, operating at the short roll, setting up Mikal Bridges for two rare half-court dunks, creating a bunch of open threes that the Knicks didn't always make, but his passing was really on point early in this game. And then in the third quarter, taking over his score with 14 points, we saw him pop for threes. We saw him on the short roll, hit foul line jumpers, and we saw him attack Okongwu, taking advantage of the size difference between those two, going straight into his body and finishing through contact. He was a monster, as was his fellow big Mitchell Robinson. 5 combined steals/blocks, a massive deterrent at the rim. It was a vintage performance from Mitch and a much-needed win for the New York Knicks.
Brunson, 30 points, 13 assists in this game, and he said the last 10. I think he had 12 straight points at one point for the Knicks when they got the lead with 30 seconds left on a Brunson jumper right off of a CJ McCollum switch, crossed him up on the free throw line. You can hear the guys on the NBC broadcast go, here we go. He set the whole table for this right now. He's getting to his spot right now, and he totally did.
He did. And what was so impressive about Brunson, especially in the fourth quarter, is the fact that through the first 3 quarters, he had 13 points on 16 shots. Like, he was 5 of 16 in the first 3 quarters of the game. But because he is who he is and understands what his role is on this team, he did not shy away from the moment come fourth quarter where it was really time to make some money, so to speak. 6 of 10 from the field in the fourth quarter, 17 points in the fourth quarter. Like, he had more points in the fourth quarter alone than he did in the first 3 quarters of the game. And the team needed every single point. Like, Karl-Anthony Towns kind of got him going in the third quarter where the tide kind of started to turn. And then Jalen Brunson came with that next punch of like, well, here I go. And y'all played some good defense, but I'm going to still get to these shots. And they started falling for him. And you could see that confidence building. And it felt like, here comes this Brunson avalanche. And unfortunately for the Hawks, they just could not find enough down the stretch to kind of continue to match that outside of what would have been a crazy game winner or game tying shot, I would say, from CJ McCollum had it went.
We don't have counted up today because there's not enough games, but I do have a quick one for you, Camille.
Ooh, okay.
The New York Knicks haven't beaten a team with a winning record since. Count it up.
Ooh, they showed it on the broadcast. Was it March 8th?
Yeah, March 6th. March 6th. It's been a month since the Knicks had beat a team with a winning record. So good on them, I guess, for this. But they had a win against Chicago, win against Memphis, but then they had this 8-game or 7-game win streak that was against Utah, Indiana twice, the Wizards, the Warriors, the Nets, like all the normal customers, and then beat the Denver Nuggets on March 6th. So some of it's schedule, but they hadn't beat any of the teams that had winning records, but they get one against the Hawks. That was a good win for them. You mentioned, though, the CJ McCollum shot. He took a heave right at half court. There's 1 second left. He takes the heave, and it's just on his fingertips right at the end. But he makes it. It would have tied the game. Oh, that would have been another insane moment. Like, we deserved that moment on a Monday. Locked on NBA game night.
And it's the way he heaved. It wasn't like an overhead heave. It was kind of like a chest pass. It looked like it was a lower shot, and he kind of just shot it really quick off his fingertips.
It's how we all did it in like elementary school when we were trying to take like threes, like
the fact that he made that feel like what? And I was like, come on, like, you got to give it to us basketball guys. Like, this is the game that needs overtime. We didn't get it, but hey, we got overtime later on in the evening.
And CJ had hit the 3 off the inbound with 1.5 seconds left to make it a 1-point game at that point, which kind of kept him in the game for that to even be set up at all, which I think was crazy. Brad Rowland, I told you, on location, not in Atlanta. I will tell you, he is probably very happy today because he's a Michigan Wolverine alum, and he is there at the game. But he stopped for a second to give us a postgame.
Hello, friends. My name is Brad Rowland, the host of the Locked On Hawks podcast, and the Hawks suffered their first home loss.
He's in a stairwell. I just want to preface everybody. He's in a stairwell. He's not like in like a coliseum. He told me, he said, I watched he said this to me during the game. I'm like, how, like the NCAA championship game. Like, Brad, how did you do this? He goes, I watched the whole Hawks game on my iPad in the press box.
Dedication.
Completely.
Dedication.
That's what you get. Of all the Locked On hosts, Brad.
In about a month and a half, and it was close. In fact, so close that CJ McCollum had a 60-foot or so heave at the buzzer that went in that would have tied the game, but it was only a fraction of a second late, and the Hawks fell to the Knicks by 3 points. Atlanta did not have their offensive game going, other than Alexander Walker, who was fantastic with 36 points, but the Hawks just couldn't execute on the stretch. A good example of that was Jalen Johnson missing about a 7 or 8 footer that would have tied the game in the final seconds. Good look, just didn't go down for Atlanta, and throughout the night they had trouble finishing around the rim, 41% on twos in the game for the Hawks. And from here, nothing disastrous. A loss to the Knicks by 3 points, single possession game is not exactly something to cry about for the Hawks, who've been playing really good basketball, and they did measure up in this spot, but in a potential playoff preview, didn't execute at the end of the game, and perhaps a learning experience for a young team as they head toward the postseason. We'll get into all of what transpired and more coming up on Locked On Hawks.
Shout out to Brad. He's like, I'm in Indianapolis. And I was like, I knew it. Like, I knew of course he would be there going from Atlanta. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 20 points in the first half, 36 total. He's been on fire lately.
We had a discussion on Locked On Bucks about most improved player because we were trying to big up Ryan Rollins and his case and what he's been doing this season. And during that episode, we were like, you know what? I think it's Jalen Duren who's probably going to come away with this award. But seeing what Nickeil Alexander-Walker has continued to do, he's starting to run away with this award, in my opinion. Like, over the last 3 weeks alone, his averages 24.1 points a game, 4 assists, about 4 rebounds, and like a steal and a half, shooting nearly 49% from 3 over the last 3 weeks.
Insane.
Like, he has been playing amazing basketball, and not just the 3-point shot, but like even getting to the rim and finishing. Like, on the whole, the Hawks can do a great job of that tonight. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker hit a couple where I was like, did not expect that to fall. And somehow it did. Shout out to him. He's been hooping.
The betting favorites for most improved on FanDuel, at least the only 4 they're taking odds on, we've talked about all of them. 3 of them were in this game. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he's minus 350, so he's the favorite right now. Jalen Duren, plus 300, so they're pretty close. Deni Avdija, plus 3,000. And then Jalen Johnson, plus 7,500. He's kind of far off, but 3 of the 4 were in this game. Most improved.
Man, just got to say they playing on my boy Ryan Rollins' name a little bit, but that's all right.
You would say that Ryan Rollins over Jalen Johnson?
I would, because I think what Jalen Johnson is doing is what we saw him doing at the end of last year. Like, it feels like just a continuation.
He improved then.
Yeah, like last year would have been his year. Like, we knew coming into this season what he was going to be, and he delivered.
Deni, I would probably say the same thing.
Honestly, I would say the exact same thing about Deni too.
Duren improved.
Yes, Duren for sure.
He's taking another step.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama took a step and is left the game. And is it a big deal? There's one thing that's kind of a big deal. I want to talk about that more coming up. Locked On NBA Game Night continues next. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Game Night brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like being in an NBA arena. Imagine if you were there. This happened to a Locked On Mavs listener at the Mavs game and left at halftime. Because Cooper Flagg, he's not doing a whole lot. You know, he's got 13 points at the half. Ends the game with 51. The guy left at halftime. Imagine that being you. Don't leave. Don't leave the game. You've already got the tickets. Sometimes it was hard to get, but if you use Game Time, they're not hard to get. You can go be there in those moments. So those people that leave early, because we know you won't, but the people that leave early, they will hear from you later. That's why Game Time is going to go to app for scored tickets without the hassle. Puts the advantage back where it belongs with the fans. I love Game Time. I've used it a bunch. I use it to go see Dallas Wings games. I've used it for a bunch of other stuff too, not just sports. You can use it for concerts and things like that. I can see the all-in price up front, so I know exactly what I'm paying. Guess we're going to buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download Game Time app, create an account, and use this code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON. You get $20 off your first purchase, so go check it out. Again, download the Game Time app, and remember, it's gametime.co, not gametime.com. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. We're talking about all the games of the night, every game, every night here. Love that about us. Every single game. So we have the San Antonio Spurs, the Philadelphia 76ers. The Spurs get the win despite Victor Wembanyama leaving this game. Let's hear from our guy, Matt Tynan, about how the Spurs came away with this one.
Matthew Tynan, Locked On Spurs, coming to you live from the bowels of the Frostbank Center. San Antonio wins 115-102 over the Philadelphia 76ers. It was kind of an ugly game, but the Spurs got 6 players in double figures, kind of their MO all season. Win ugly, win pretty, win fast, win slow. However, they've been figuring out ways to do it. They become just the 4th team in NBA history to reach 60 wins after winning no more than 35 the year before. But kind of the big news, other than that, coming out of this game is that Victor Wembanyama left after 16 minutes late in the first half with a rib contusion. We don't know much about it at this point, but Mitch Johnson said after the game that despite the fact that he knows, and I quote, nothing about it, from his perspective, it's a good sign that Victor came back in to finish the first half after briefly exiting prior to that to check on the rib. We'll keep you updated as we can, but for now, that's all we know. Spurs, 60 wins for the first time in a while.
Yeah, first time in a while. You've been down a long time, Matt. You've been down a long time. Oh my gosh. Tell that to James Ham, Locked On Kings.
Right.
I love what he said. Mitch Johnson, who said he knew nothing about it, said it was a good sign. It's like that's what we're all doing with these injuries sometimes. It's like
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know.
My favorite Jason Kidd drop.
Oh, Jason Kidd could have so many just by himself.
He does. He does have all. I have all of them here. This is the one I use. I use liberally.
I don't always tell you guys the truth.
It's a great one.
That's
my new favorite one though. I got this year about Cooper Flagg and the rookie wall. Have you heard that one? Have you heard that one? All right. I'm going to introduce Camille to the Jason Kidd rookie wall drop.
He's got to touch it. He's got to rub it and hold it.
Oh my, Jason.
We had Max Christie on Locked On. We derailed this. We've had Max Christie on this show, and we asked him about that clip, and he said, have you said anything about about this to Coach Kidd? Like, have you? He's like, well, we haven't said anything to Kidd, but we definitely said stuff to Cooper, like, hey, Coop, you touching that wall today?
Make sure you
imagine just
through it.
You could just do that for the rest of the season. Like, hey, Coop, seems like you rubbed that wall today.
Spend a lot of time with that wall. I see.
Spending a lot of time with that wall. The Spurs got over their wall. They got 60 wins, but Victor Wembanyama. Let's do the win first. Like, good on them. I was Steph Castle, triple double, incredible. How many guys? 6 guys in double figures. It's just they have so much depth. It's insane.
Such a good team. Just a really, really good team.
And the Sixers were healthy, by the way. We're gonna point that out.
First 60-win season of the Spurs since 2016. So that's the long time.
Oh, so long
that it has been for them. Which I think the most impressive part about that to me is the fact that on January 31st they were 32-16, and today they are 60-19.
Wow.
Like, that is just a crazy run that the Spurs have been on, powered in large part by Wemby. So hopefully this injury isn't too serious for him.
Yeah. So he leaves with a rib contusion, they're calling it. And we don't really know a lot about it, but Jeff Stotts from In Street Clothes said Spurs may have dodged a bullet here, as rib contusions don't often result in significantly missed time, average 1.1 games or about 4 days. However, ribs can be tricky to x-ray, and I'm betting Wemby undergoes a more detailed exam soon. The thing that's tricky about this too for them, he's got to play one more game of at least 20 minutes to get postseason award eligibility, Camille.
Yeah, and we know how badly Wemby wants to be considered for MVP. He's publicly campaigned for the award. So, like, we know that he's going to do everything in his power to make sure he plays that one last game to make sure that he qualifies, because thankfully for him, NBA Cup, the in-season tournament games, they might not count in record books for regular season, but the game does count towards that 65 game limit. So that is at least in his favor.
That matters. What also matters, the Orlando Magic getting a win against a good team. Even the Pistons without the guys they had, Magic get a win. Let's hear from our guy, Philip Rossman-Reich, on that one.
Philip Rossman-Reich, the host of...
He is in an arena, if you can't tell. Not a club. We're everywhere here, Locked On NBA.
Locked On Magic here at the Kia Center as the Orlando Magic defeat the Detroit Pistons, running away at the end after blowing a 26-point lead, got it down to 4. A couple big plays by Jalen Suggs on a near triple-double, and Paolo Banchero scoring more than 30 points in this one. At this time of year, you just need to get wins. Sorry if you can get them. The Pistons obviously down a lot of key players, so I wouldn't read too much into the victory. The Magic getting out to a 26-point lead certainly suggests that they are kind of getting back into the right rhythm and back into the right frame of mind as they try to make this late playoff push. And the question has to be whether it is time to believe in the Magic again, whether it is time to believe after what...
If you've listened to Locked On NBA Daily a lot, or if you've listened to Locked On Magic a lot, you know that Philip plays this game like every couple of weeks where he's like, is it time to believe in the Magic again? And then in a couple of weeks, he's like, you know what? It's not. This team, time to fire Jamal Mosley. He did that the other day. So if you followed, you know he's done this. He's done
every day is now.
Also, I want to hang on to the end of this clip. Just trust me. Everyone, just trust me.
For their last 6, that they can do this and make a climb up the standings, get to 7th, maybe even get to 6th. They'll need a lot of help to do all of that. But the Magic are playing a little bit better. The defense is more consistent and playing at the level that you would expect it to play at if you're an Orlando Magic fan, or if you've watched this Orlando Magic team over the last 4 years. The offense is getting a little bit better too. Still all about energy, still all about consistency. And again, I wouldn't read too much into this win. But the Magic are doing what they need to do. The schedule seems to be breaking a little bit in their favor with some of the players they're not going to see down the stretch. And maybe it is just possible that Orlando escapes the play-in. Tonight's game was certainly a good sign for them. They will take it. They needed to steal this one. They got it. On to the next one on Wednesday.
Goes
I
right
love
into
that
the
song.
Orlando Magic with the Orlando
That's what I
Magic.
really wanted to hear. That Orlando.
Right at the
I'm gonna
end.
start doing that little.
Oh. Oh man, the Magic season has been wild though. I'll give Philip credit. They started 4-6, then they went 9-2, then they went 10-10 over like a month. Then they went 2-6, then 13-7 with a 7-game win streak, and you're like, all right, they're back up. Then they went 2-8, and now they're 3-0 in their last 3 games.
Who knows what to believe about this team heading into this play-in game that they're going to most likely be in? I have no idea what to expect from Orlando.
Sometimes I know what to expect from the Cavs, but then sometimes I don't. They sat James Harden and Donovan Mitchell today. Let's hear from Danny Cunningham on this one.
Cleveland Cavaliers get a 142-126 win over the Memphis Grizzlies on Monday night in one of the most absurd basketball games that I've ever watched. Donovan Mitchell didn't play. James Harden didn't play. Max Strus was out. The Cavs are still without Jalen Tyson, still without Dean Wade. Evan Mobley appeared to be on a minutes restriction. Jared Allen on a minutes restriction. The Cavs are playing just kind of out the string of the rest of this regular season as they wait the postseason. And they go to Memphis, second night of a back-to-back for both teams. And the Grizzlies hit 29 threes. They hit 29 threes and 16 twos. Memphis tied the NBA record for most three-pointers made by a team in a game, and they lost by 16. The Cavs did whatever they wanted offensively. Evan Mobley was really good in the minutes that he did play. Jared Allen looked okay. Not sure that we're going to see him again the rest of the regular season before the postseason as he continues to deal with that severe knee tendonitis. Thought Dennis Schroeder did some good things. Keon Ellis, Sam Merrill hit some threes. Naquan Tomlin, like there were some things to like, and the Cavs did not play great the entire time. But at a certain point, it just became funny how many three-pointers the Memphis Grizzlies were hitting. The fact that they hit 29 and the Cavs still won by 16. I mean, you can feel however you want about this one, but I think it's, if nothing else, a funny win for the Cavs.
What a takeaway from Danny. Like, just hilarious. The Grizzlies also had 9 guys in double figures, which ties the NBA like record this season. And all of them are weird teams. Charlotte's on there twice. Cleveland is on there once, but Orlando, Miami, Chicago twice, and Brooklyn. You're like, wait, when? Now Memphis with this team.
What a weird season we have seen with some of these things. Like, what? Doesn't even make sense to think about. Like those teams you listed, like, wait, how did this even happen? But I'll give it this to Memphis. Like, shout out to the guys that are continuously hitting the court and playing these minutes and trying to make something out of it. Like they were chasing that NBA 3-point record. They just couldn't catch it.
The Cavs had 9 players. This Grizzlies had 7. So, but the Cavs now have done this twice, which is good for them with their depth, especially considering they didn't have Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. Still weird season with all those, but maybe not as weird. Teams that have hit 25 or more threes before tonight were 62-6. Count it up. And now both teams that did it tonight lost. Portland and Memphis hit 25 threes and lost.
62-8. So 2 of the 8 losses came on the same night. That is
tonight.
Crazy.
Yeah, tonight, most recently. It's trending down, Camille. It's trending down.
Might become more frequent with, with the 3-point becoming, just more and more popular, so on and so forth.
An insane night, but go check out Locked On NBA Daily with Matt, Hayes, and Wes. Great stuff happening all the time over there. We also have the Everydayer Club, lockedonpodcast.com/everydayer. Guys, thanks for listening to Locked On NBA Game Night.